Hello and welcome to this special show of Agenda. We come to you from the Global Entrepreneurship Summit at Hyderabad, and I have with me a large number of Indians from actually across the world, and I also have Virginia, who's in fact traveled 90 countries and tried to help women. In this particular Global Entrepreneurship Summit, where you have 1,500 delegates, we in fact have almost 500 from India and almost one-third of it from the US as well, and a huge contingent of Indian Americans actually coming in the US delegation that's being led by Ivanka Trump. From across 127 countries, you have 52% representation of women. That's the biggest ever for any GES, the 8th edition, therefore very, very special. And that's why we have a good lineup of women entrepreneurs on this particular show. All of them Indians. I'm going to go to you first. You said you traveled across India. The challenges perhaps across the globe are very similar for women.
I'm Virginia Littlejohn from Quantum Leaps in the United States. We did a mapping of the ecosystem in India, and there were a number of issues around access to finance, access to markets, capacity building. Those are indeed global issues, but I think India is really making real strides in some of those areas, and this summit is a great way to start it.
Okay. Very often we do find, it's the IITs that seem to be bringing in that entrepreneurial spirit. And I have here many IITians who have turned entrepreneurs. Going across to you first. What is it about IIT that seems to distinguish them as, or they seem to very naturally become entrepreneurs? Is it an environment about the IITs?
Sure. So first of all, my name is Anjul Katare. I would like to share something very interesting, which I guess probably not many people know about IIT, and I can talk in particular about IIT Bombay. The culture inside is what we see is not. Okay? What I mean is that we are really being flourished there. We are really being flourished in an entrepreneurial way, at least in IIT Bombay, and I'm sure that's the case with most of the IITs. And the reason for my coming here was I have seen the .com boom. I started my career in around 96. Pretty much, I saw how things...
Yeah, go ahead.
Things went in, and then, that whole entrepreneurial journey actually started from the day one I started working. The reason was that the company was just 4 people company, and we made it big, right? And that just kept on going. The whole reason I wanted to come to attend this one is I'm seeing so much happening in India. I just want to correlate with what happened between 96 to 99, 21 years back, how things are shaping up. Actually, I'm talking to some of the entrepreneurs here. I want to basically give them what are the do's and what are don'ts. Actually, that's I think
you are a beginner. You are on that the beginning of that same cycle that he's talking about.
Right. I was just talking to one guy who's starting an education firm, and I just told him something that was like an eye opener for him, because that was something started 20 years back, did not work out. So that basically that's I think is what the correlation, what I would like to see what's going on, where I can invest in some of the companies. I've been running a successful company for last 17 years, and at the same time would like to give an advice wherever possible to not.
You are someone who's starting on that curve.
Yes. Yeah. So we've just started this month. So November is when we started Be Able Health. So it's a healthcare entrepreneurship company. So we are more targeting towards physiotherapy and redefining the whole thing. So we've come out of Center for Healthcare Entrepreneurship at IIT Hyderabad, which has a very unique program. It's a fellowship program which is nurturing us. And this event is where we are coming over to learn and interact with all entrepreneurs. And as just he was saying, we are here to ask questions and open our eyes to the real world right now.
Okay. The focus of this Entrepreneurial Summit 2017 is women. You don't believe you need an IIT degree to be an entrepreneur, for sure.
Well, since you started with that opening, I do want to say I have 6 degrees from London. My name is Shaila Rao Mistry, and my company is JCO. We're an aerospace company, and I also have STEM Institute that brings together the 4 segments of government, private sector, academia, and nonprofits. Brings them together to have a conversation of opening pathways of people working together
The reason I mentioned IITs was because, the talk is about going from being job seekers, even these, academically brilliant people, going from becoming job seekers to job creators. That journey, how does it happen? I mean, what is different in the environment? Probably you didn't grow up in India. You grew up outside the country.
I'm proud to say I was actually born in Hyderabad. I left as a baby. I grew up in Europe and in London, and now I live in California. And I do consider myself 100% pure Hyderabadi Telangana. So the challenge or the why we go into business is simple. We don't want to listen to other people tell us what to do. So we'd like to take charge, and it's the innovative spirit in us. And I heard you ask the question, why the summit? Why are we here? And what is the challenge for women? The challenge is that women want to do business with large companies, and we want a piece of that pie. We want a share and an opportunity to bid for that business. And I think as women, we somehow we don't have the same opportunities as men do. We end up at the back of the line. So I think a conversation needs to happen.
You're in a space like you said aerospace. She was in, you're talking about defense. These are very unusual areas. I mean, these are not, the stereotypes at least don't seem to fit in.
But the thing is,
I'm Sandhya Reddy from Canara Technologies. We are into the defense. We're supplying the power supplies to the missiles and all the defense companies. And also, I'm a vice president of a Confederation of Women Entrepreneurs.
So you do the mentoring also?
Oh yeah, a lot of mentoring, and we have around more than 1,000 members with us, and we have almost we covered most of the states in India. Now we are open to even the international, and this helps us in a lot of networking the women in all the states, and also especially this occasion, it helps because a lot of our women are participating, our association members, which will help in a lot of networking, and we're looking forward to this event, where all our members would get a lot of, help from the networking.
Avik, you also left India, 98 IIT batch, is it? What do you want to see happening in India now? He's expressed excitement about what the environment is looking like today.
Yeah, no, so I think a lot has changed from the time I left 20 years back. And being in the Valley, I think a lot of us are pampered, at least for the entrepreneur community. The ecosystem is amazing there. But that started to flourish in India. I think Prime Minister Modi has triggered a lot of these initiatives. I hope they all...
What specifically would you say?
No, the Startup India, Make in India, come in India, do business with India, all these things, right? I mean, earlier it used to be a kind of shut door back in the days, but then things opened up, and at some point this cross-border India-US corridor, there are several other organizations like India-US Business Council. I mean, a lot of these organizations are promoting this cross-border flourishing, and there's stories and success stories that a lot of people have created in the last 20 years. Many of them have come back, or they have come back off and on, and share those knowledge and help this ecosystem grow. So I see only growth from here on for India. So
one side of the story is about people who have had great degrees and come from institutions like the IIT. But do these movements for entrepreneurship tend to be inclusive? Is there an opportunity for someone who's probably not gone to the best of colleges to start that?
Okay, so I'll first introduce myself, and I joined a few of our friends here. So I'm from IIT Madras, and I'm another, probably different in the sense I never took up a job. Out of college, I started my enterprise in '77. So a very old-time entrepreneur. Okay, and then I'm different from most people looking at entrepreneurship today because I'm in manufacturing. And the one thing that does make me feel a little kind of sad is that there's so much focus on the entrepreneurship in IT and startups and all that area, consultancy. But manufacturing is where there has to be much more focus because the jobs are there. So anyway, coming now to so with that in mind, many years back we started Confederation of Women Entrepreneurs. By the way, in my manufacturing, we manufacture heaters, cables, and we have an engineering.
I think manufacturing is in a sense not such a sexy area as as you would say IT or
It's much more hard work. It's like ragdai hoti hai. That's the word for it. But then we went through all that, and 85% of our products are exported today. to about 40 countries across the world. Now,
From a place like this, GES, I mean, first time happening in this part of the world, what do you see youngsters looking for in something like this, or is it for people of across age groups, across?
yeah, I think the focus here has been more in IT and the young group, but I'm here to see and try and talk more about manufacturing, because there's a lot of funding available for the IT sector, startups of those kinds. And what the youngsters here, of course, everyone's looking
I'm going
at.
to ask him, what are you looking for? She spoke about starting an enterprise in 77.
Hi, I'm Manoj. I'm from the Center for Healthcare Entrepreneurship and I represent EmoCare. So being millennial kids, we've just seen the best part of what entrepreneurship is offered in India. So we've been in the age where Make in India, Digital India, all of it is seen. And just adding to that point, we've been chasing manufacturers. Being medical device companies, we're looking out to Shenzhen, we're looking out to Taiwan. We fail to identify the talent that happens.
Like this, what does it do for you?
So we're looking to network. So just after this talk, we're going to get hold of ma'am just to get to know what are the best practices in manufacturing, because as youngsters, we're not exposed to that, and that is what we're looking for. In such an event, we're looking for networking and to learn from other senior entrepreneurs.
We will come back with a lot more. Yes, many people very excited about what's happening at the GES and what the opportunities may be, not just in India, but globally. All that after a short break.